Good morning. Welcome back. So, uh, everyone knows what we had done before the break. So, before we continue, just re-enable the cookies because we are going to discuss today we are going to build that remaining part of the case study with cookies enabled, and later time I'll show you a concept called as a technique called as URL rewriting, and we'll discuss that again. So, spend a minute, go to settings and remove this site. In short, start accepting the cookies from this. So, remove this. So now everyone's cookies are enabled. I mean, your client browser is accepting the cookie. Done the change? Okay. So now let us continue. In the whole remaining time, we are going to devote to the completion of whatever part, completion of your case study. So just a second, let me open. You also open this. So which are the pages we have done? Everyone has an idea. Login servlet is done. Topics page, you might have completed, some of you, but I have not completed. So I promise that we will write it together. So you can just sit back and you can confirm. But before that, guys, now I have a statement to make. That is the reason I did not start with the completion. So let me start asking you some important questions. Pay attention. Those who have completed this topics page to get this content, which are the methods you have overridden in the topic servlet? Which are the methods you have overridden in the topics page? Those who have completed this part, I'm talking to them. Or even those who have not done it, like you can always think, you must have overridden all three methods. Which three methods? Init, do, get, and destroy. What is it you have done in the init method? Open your code. This is not a memory based at all. And you tell me, what is it you have done in the init method? Quickly. And next question is, what is it you have done in the destroy method? So give me both the answers. Instantiation of topic DAO, and in the destroy method, you must have cleaned it up. All clear? I'm just getting the answers from you. Okay, so this is one thing. Now, just stretch more little bit, and then we are going to develop this tutorials page. So tell me, in this tutorials page, does this page means servlet, dynamic web page, is it going to require any database access, any data access? Answer is yes. Which one? Which Pojo, which DAO you will require for this page? Tutorial page, I'm sorry, tutorial Pojo and tutorial DAO. So in this servlet, which are the methods you will have to override, guys? Which are the methods to override? Which you will have to override? All three again. Yeah, so init, destroy, and if you have sent the data, this is the form you must have generated dynamically, that generate form. If you have said method equal to post, which method you'll have to override here? Do post. Are we understanding? So in init, create tutorial DAO instance. In destroy, clean it up. All with me? Now, the next page. When we talk about tutorial details, will it require any database access or not? Of course, it will require, because user will select a particular tutorial, and that particular selected tutorial contents you want to display. So again, you will have to override init and destroy along with your do, get, do, post, and again create a DAO instance and clean it up. Understood me completely? Are the statements clear? So this is a very small case study. This is a very, what do you say, warm-up kind of a case study. But still in that, if you sit back and observe, login page, topics page, tutorials page, tutorial details page, everywhere you will have to override init and destroy and create a DAO and clean it up. Agreed or not agreed? Understood or not understood? Tell me. I mean, I'm building a story as usual. So you have to keep responding in between. Is the statement clear? So now I'm asking you the obvious question. So does this sound a better pattern? A good pattern that override in all the pages? I mean, almost all the pages, init and destroy, and create individual DAO instance and clean it up? Or just go to the first page in the website, which is, for example, login servlet, authentication servlet, create all possible DAO instances, whatever in the init method, clean them up in the, what is it called, in the destroy method, and share those DAO instances across all the pages in the complete web application. Which approach sounds better? I'm asking you an obvious question. Are you understanding? So that is what we are going to do. That is why I told you yesterday, guys, to write it. So you will realize that so much of code, everywhere you have to override init and destroy. So there's no point. So what we are going to do is that's why I never started the case study. So here we are not going to override init and destroy in 10,000 pages, as in 4 pages. We are going to centralize it in one. And once these DAO instances are created, I'm not saying these pages will not require. Of course, they will require. So we will create the DAO instance from here and share it across all the remaining pages. So does anyone have any clue about how will you share these DAO instances across other pages? Which will be the mechanism we'll use for sharing? Of course, HTTP session. Are you getting it? In session, can I say session.setAttribute? Let's say user DAO name and user DAO instance. Yes, because user DAO is an object. Can I put that topic DAO and save it in the session scope and do that? Yes, again. And likewise, I can also do it for tutorial. So that is the good use case of session tracking, sharing the common resources in the entire web application for a current user, for a particular user, and we'll see how it works. All statements clear? So that is how we are going to build the remaining part of the case study. Is the central idea clear? Is the basic idea clear? So now let's do it in a parallel manner. I'll mention it in the sequence. So of course I'll give it in this. So here replace cookie based and this. So the reference project here, reference Eclipse project was day 5.1. Now we are continuing with day 5.2, which involves completion of the case study, using shared DAO instances. What all features? It will be a feature-rich application using shared DAO instances, HTTP session, and the page navigation and everything. Okay, so this is a good use case. This is a good, proof of concept to apply your servlet understanding. So this is what we are continuing for the remaining part of the day. Whatever I complete here, fine, and rest you will carry on. If we can complete the whole thing, I'm always going to give you options. So one option is you can try it once I complete on your own. Whatever I don't complete, you complete. But if you say, no, I want to work with a fresh scenario, of course, yes. So then you can go for that admin branch. I'll discuss the role-based authorization. So if the user logs in as the administrator, you have a different flow. Customer flow is different, admin flow is different. We can discuss and you can build it from scratch. So that is how we are going to spend the remaining part of the day to give you more and more comfort, practice in servlet. So let me not waste time. Stop the server. When I say stop the server, click on the servers tab and from here stop the server. Okay. And let's make a copy of day 5.1 into, actually I can give the name as content management system, or I'll say day 5 CMS. CMS is content management system. So you'll know this is the case study we are building. Okay. The first thing which you do after copy is change the context root properties. Third property from the last, I can always keep the project name different than the context. So I can say here CMS, but generally the norm is match it with the project name. Once again, I'm repeating, it can be different. There's no connection between the two. So have you made the copy and changed the context root? Done? Okay. So now Control Shift W. So all the earlier files are closed. Now open. You can close earlier projects if you want, so that they won't interfere with your work. Never ever close the server's project. Otherwise your server will stop working. So open that. The login form, web.xml, same. Open your this thing. Okay, sorry. I should give you. So I don't have the whole of it. So I mean, I had it, but I had it in some other place. Let me check what all we have. I got all the Pojos copied. I'll just copy the implementation classes. Give me a minute. And if anyone wants, I can share with you also. 2 minutes. So that, today I'm not spending time in this thing. What is it called? In the implementation classes and all. So wait a second. I'll take it from my earlier developed things. So topic DAO implementation and tutorial DAO implementation. And if anyone has, if you have completed it on your own, great. Otherwise, I'll share. So I'll just correct it and send you the corrected version. Just 2 minutes. This was from some earlier training. So there are some method names and all that, which can be mismatched. So let me normalize it properly and send it to you. Okay, so I'm giving you two choices. Either continue if you have got already the, but you will need topic DAO implementation fully. That first day or second day I had given you that requirement, JDBC. Or if you have not completed any of you can take it from mine. So let me just make a zip. Only when you take my zip, everyone knows you have to edit the DB utils to change the username and password. So either you continue on your own, I mean, with your own DAO copy, or you can definitely use mine if it is not ready. So a second. Let me give you this. If you are taking from my copy, without fail, edit username and password from DB utils. Or you don't have to touch anything else. Just copy that topic DAO implementation, tutorial DAO implementation, and let's start. I'll wait till you allow me to start, till you are ready to start. You let me know and I'll start. I'm not going to go to login servlet. First, we'll fix some things from the DAO layer. I want everyone to have all complete DAO layers. I'm not wasting time today on the JDBC based DAO layer. From the latest this, okay, you've done it, fine. Now open the DB utils. It could be your or it could be my copy. If it is my copy, then it is no issue. Just along with the open connection, check if you have got that close connection method. Level check number 1. I already explained it yesterday, why we require separate. You got it? Great. Now open user DAO IMPL. We are first, checking the DAO layer, and then we don't have to worry about the DAO layer. So from the constructor, are you calling? Because some of you could be working using their own copy. Open connection and come to the cleanup and remove this connection.close. I have already explained it yesterday. We are going to get 3 DAO instances, but all these 3 DAO are going to share the same connection. So how many times you should say connection dot close? One time or three times? One time. So remove it from the cleanup with understanding. Okay. Do the same things from the other DAOs also. So topic DAO MPL. Here I have already done it. So in the cleanup, if just open in the what is it called? Constructor, open connection. It will give you the same singleton connection, but in the cleanup, don't close it. Remove that connection dot close. And likewise, just check it once. In the tutorial DAO, open connection. And here, no connection closing. I'll wait here till you say you have all tested. Check. So how many times you are, so in short, till now we are not calling the close connection at all. Everyone understood? From the yesterday's discussion, I hope it is clear. Close everything. Now let us climb to the topmost layer, which is a servlet, and start working on it page by page. You can close the DAO layer. So, sorry, I mean DAO, I wanted to close. Right. So open the first servlet, login servlet. You tell me everything, I'm going to get it from you. So those who are not typing, no issues, keep responding, keep talking to me at least. So tell me, only one DAO layer or three DAO references? One or three? All three. Start working on it. Private. What was that? Topic DAO implementation. Okay. And create the other one. It is all repetitive. Once you get the point, there are hardly any things. These are all the standard techniques, professional techniques we use before I teach you Spring MVC and Spring techniques. These are all the servlet techniques you are learning today. Okay. So, but if you just declare the reference, they will have the null value. So, which is the method you will instantiate from? Exactly once here. So give that topic DAO. We are centralizing the whole process. So the code, so you don't have to override init destroy hereafter at all. So topic DAO is equal to new DAO implementation. And likewise, create the instance of a tutorial DAO. You yourself will see the code will simplify, straighten up, clean up so much. Tutorial DAO. Created the three DAO, user DAO, user, topic, and tutorial DAO instances. Done so far? Okay. Now come to the destroy. Just cleaning up the user DAO is not sufficient. So close the, clean up the topic DAO. It's all repetitive. And here, close the tutorial DAO. So here, are we closing the connection or are we closing only the prepared statements, guys? We are cleaning up only closing the prepared statements. So now we are ready to close the connection. So either use import static or if you want directly, you can say db-utils.close connection. Making sense completely? This is what I was trying to say yesterday. Only thing is I was talking about one. Now we are talking about multiple. So init and destroy done. Now come to the this method. What was that? Do post method. So tell me. Here, look at this. Let me ask you the questions. From which point onwards you want to start remembering the client? After successful login or invalid login? If or else condition, successful login. So go to the else condition. And we have already before the break bought the HTTP session. And currently, how many attributes have you stored in the session scope? One or multiple? One. But now my other pages are going to require topic DAO, tutorial DAO, user DAO. User DAO will be required. I'm just thinking. I'm just checking whether user DAO will be required. I don't think so in the current requirement. User DAO we are not using. Okay, so okay, topic DAO and tutorial DAO definitely. So tell me, in order to share the same copy of the topic DAO and tutorial DAO, what else will I have to save in the session scope? The DAO instances. Okay, so add the comment, save topic and tutorial DAO instances in the HTTP session scope for sharing it with the rest of the pages. So method is the same, session dot set attribute. Always give, whenever you are giving a attribute name, class name, method name, variable name, think. So here I don't think we'll require. If you require user, we can add it. It's just a minutes thing. So let me say topic underscore DAO. This is the name of the attribute. This is not the instance. And to that, I've got a variable name. I always try to give it in a meaningful manner. So anytime you look at it, this is your attribute name, which has the reference of the topic DAO layer stored. Similarly, session dot set attribute. I'll say tutorial DAO. Don't get confused between the reference name and the attribute name. And here I'm saying I've got a tutorial DAO instance added. So how many attributes now we are storing altogether? All three. So these are the changes we modified on the this page. What is it called? Login page. Done. Can I continue? So in case of successful login, web container sends the redirect response. Client browser will send the new request to the topics page. So now open topic servlet and tell me, do I need to override init and destroy to open the topic DAO and clean it up? Absolutely not. The whole idea was this. Okay, so if you are referring to your yesterday's evening lab session code, remove that init and destroy and focus on the changes. So let me just continue. So here, these steps are the same. Okay, so here, same steps. This is also the same. But now let us stick to the actual page flow. So here, I've not written, but you can say something like hello user. These are the available topics. So here, this part remains the same. And if it is not equal to null, now we want to do a lot of things in this. So add a scope, add a block. Here, what it implies is cookies are enabled. So here we have session tracking working fine. Okay. So this is that if branch. In the else branch, you cannot really do too much because now my DAO instances and everything is stored in the session. So as far as today is concerned, our web application will only work fine if the cookies are enabled. That's why I told you to enable the cookies. Can I write the web application which is independent of cookies, as in without the cookies also? Yes. But that approach you don't know still. URL rewriting some other time. Okay. So coming back here. Now I don't want this weird message. Weird means this message. I just want to say hello followed by username. Retrieve user. You can manage this, I hope. Dot get name. We did that in that earlier one. And this is your thing. And I'm saying these are the available topics. Hello, username is fine. The available topics, or I can have it in the new line. I just want to print the available topics in the dynamically generated form. Let's give some meaningful look to the website. Not very well formatted. You can add, a line if you want, center. I'm not saying you be very clear about styling. I mean, styling can come later. All available topics. No, just a little bit of. So hardly any new things. Now we have discussed this totally in evening lab session, yesterday lab session. So tell me, how will I get the available topics in a servlet? Who has to call whose method for getting the available topics? Who has to call? Servlet has to call the topic DAO method. But I don't have the topic DAO instance here. So should I create one or should I get it from the session scope? Get it from the session scope. Okay. So here, get topic, get topic DAO instance, which we have already saved in this topic DAO instance from the whatever is the shared data, you put it in the session scope, you retrieve from the session scope. So which method this time? Set attribute or get attribute? Of course, get attribute. I guess Shubham was getting a class cast exception. Shubham, only thing is you must have given the wrong attribute name and done the wrong casting. Class cast exception comes with the invalid casting. So guys, be careful which attribute name and which value you are trying to get. So I'm trying to get the topic DAO IMPL. So if I say DAO, give the downcast. Here I'm not asking you to do the instance of checking too much code and unnecessary. Please don't trust your memory or spellings. Whatever is the attribute name, guys, I give you suggestions because I have seen people suffering in labs so many years. So please don't let it happen to you. What is the variable name of session? Is that session? HS. So HS dot get attribute. Simple things, such simple, safety precautions can help you a day, can save you so much time of debugging. So I have got this. If you mess up here and if you give user DAO or tutorial DAO, of course you are going to get class cast exception. So be careful. Now invoke topic DAO's method. Write it first, identify what is to be done, and then putting it into the code becomes so easy. So invoke topic DAO's method to fetch all topics. Understanding completely so far? Yeah, I thought so, Shubham. So here, so what is it we have is call the method. So what is that method? DAO dot, which method? Get all topics is the method. And here, control one, assign it to the new local variable. So I can say topics. Same discussion as yesterday. Why compiler error? Unhandled checked exception. So I think this is our end of try. Yeah. So add a catch-all block and always rethrow the exception to the caller. Rethrow the exception to the caller is web container. By only the exceptions we are allowed to throw is either servlet exception or IO. But IO is meant for input output. So don't wrap it in IO by wrapping it in a servlet exception. This is I'm referring to the error handling, centralized error handling. So which constructor? Message and the root cause. So this is what we are using. Throw, not throws, new servlet exception and choose the one error in. This is what do get. If always spend good amount of time in writing debugging messages, troubleshooting becomes so easy. Off get class. So you'll know exactly which servlet is causing a problem and what is a problem. I'll wait here till you sync up. Do whatever you are doing, whether you are typing or not. Typing is not important. Understanding is important to me. So if anyone is not understanding, speak up. Okay, done. Very good, Sumit. Yeah, I'm waiting, Girish. So, but you have to maintain a basic speed. Otherwise, I cannot really wait for each and every one. This is whatever said and done a theory session. I'm just, in doing that. So over time, maybe I'll not be able to wait for each and every one. In short, unfortunately. In lab, yes, I will definitely. Understanding wise, please finish. Done? Okay. So now you know the rest of the things. What is it I want to do? Now, again, open, keep this in front of you. I just don't want to display. I want to put it in a dynamic form. So now starts the second part of this, generate a form dynamically and send it to the client. I gave you the analogy. This is what we do in the render method of your React component. So this is what we render. I mean, in HTML, JS6 basically. So here we are doing the same thing, HTML rendered, but from Java. And I'm telling you ahead of time, things get very messy because you have to keep track of opening tag, you have closing tag, quotes, double quotes, etc. That is why you have something called a JSP for clean separation between presentation logic, which is HTML, and the business logic, which is Java. But not today, later. So today you are going to write it in a mixed up manner. Generate a form dynamically and send it to the client. So start generating the form, print. So this part you must have done. So just confirm whether I'm doing it correct or not. Form has an action, form has a method. So anyone wants to tell me, what is the action you want to give? Give me the value of the action, please. If you have done it, you should be able to respond, or even without doing also, you should be tutorial. Yes. Guys, I will go for plural because this is showing you multiple tutorials. If you say here, then I'll say, okay, tutorial detail. Singular, plural gives you the clarity. So let me call it as tutorials. Because all tutorial links I'm going to show in the next page, form action tutorials, and method can be anything, can be get, can be post. So if you say post, it can be post. Okay. And here, let's close the form tag first before we forget. Okay. So I'm closing. If I make a mess, tell me. Okay. So this is form tag opening, closing. Now inside, let's start adding. So, okay, always refer to this. So what is it we want to generate is dynamically generated radio buttons. So here, now start adding. I don't know how many radio buttons. It is all dependent on the topic list. So either you use streams or a simple for each. I don't mind either way. Either way, it is the same. It's just a style. For each topic, T in topics. If you want to do it in a stream manner, topics.for each, and you can do it in a lambda manner. Whatever way you like, you do. So now we are doing the pw.print business, and let me start creating your this thing. So what I'll do is, wait a second, I'll just add a h5. Okay, so at least something will be this formatted, and here I'm closing that. Later, you can just add a table TRTD and nicely put it in a table manner. All of that we will do, but in a JSP, not too much in the servlet. Becomes too messy. Okay, so let me close this. Okay, fine. So now, which is the type which is the input type we are going to generate? Is it a checkbox or is it a radio button? Everyone knows radio. Okay. Radio button has a name, value, and a label. So tell me, name please. Name can be anything, including ABC. But what is the value we are going to assign to this radio button? Topic ID. So, typically give the name also which is relevant. So let's say ID, or I can say TID or topic ID, whatever. So suppose I say topic ID. Guys, always think what is the value you're going to assign and give the relevant name is what my suggestion is. And now tell me this value is going to be hard coded, fixed or dynamic. Dynamic. If this was our JS, we would have said the dollar, I mean curly braces, not dollar, curly braces, and the expression value. Here you don't have it. So value is equal to, and then you can close this. And here you say plus, what is the variable in T now? T dot get topic ID. And then this is the mess I was talking about. That is why you will learn JSPs to separate. And anyway, so I will close the value tag. Value is done. Okay, I'll just add here value, here single quotes, then this single quote, complete. Single quotes are not this. Then close the input tag, and then I want to give the label. That label is going to be topic name. And then let me give the BR tag, break line tag, to display it on different lines. Check whether I have done it correctly. I'll send you this. Okay, I'll write that submit button also. And then I will this input type equal to submit. Input type submit. And what is the label we want to give is something like choose, I guess. Choose topic. Yeah, choose a topic. So here. Okay. And this is it. And here, are we done here? Okay, and the closing the form. Okay. So let me send you this form in case you don't want to. Somewhere I have forgotten. Where I have forgotten this? Closing tag. Input tag you're saying. So this form, this is fine. H5 is closed. You're talking about here. Input tag. Okay, here. I mean, it is a self-closing tag. You can close it if you want. And we'll do this. We'll test it. So we'll come to know whether I have made any mistakes in the HTML syntax. In submit, yeah, in submit also, like I said, input type is a self-closing tag. So it is your HTML content in Java is not as strict as JSX. JSX is pretty this. Guys, here also BR tag. Even if you don't close it, it will still work. But I know you're coming from JSX background. So let us be strict and let us close. Even if you don't close it here, single quote. Which single quote have I messed up? Line number, please. Tell me where I have made a mistake. Line 757. Okay, let me see. Input type submit. Oh, yeah. That would have killed us. Choose a topic. Thanks. Okay, so the form generation. Anything doesn't work, we'll check it in 1 minute and we'll see. So now, this is that incremental approach. As in, we will build a page and we will choose it. Okay, we'll check it. So let me ask you. Here, if I check this and if the form is displayed, but when I click on this submit button, what is it we are going to see? HTTP 404 or the next page? Of course, 404. So then what is it we are testing? We are testing whether the form is generated properly. Point number 1. But now answer something. If I use method equal to post, this chosen topic ID, will it come in the as a query string or will it be embedded in the body of the request? Of course, in the response body. So that will not help me to debug. So another suggestion, guys, while you are debugging, while you are not sure, keep the method equal to get. The moment I say method equal to get, let me check your understanding. I have a question for you, okay? So wait, I'll ask you a question. Okay, so if the user chooses the topic as Spring Framework, let me complete the question. Let me tell you the question. If the user has chosen the topic as Spring Framework, can anyone tell me what will be the URI? I'm saying URI. I don't want URL. HTTP host port, I know. What will be the URI of the next request? Take your time and type. If I choose Spring Framework as a topic, please tell me. No. You are missing the point, Mohammed, totally. Yes. What will be the URI? Okay. I want the full thing. What are you saying slash topics, guys? Slash tutorials. First mistake. Form is submitted to slash tutorials. Then topic underscore ID is equal to, what was the value? I forgot, 4. If that comes properly, I know 100% that this page is working fine. Understood my test case? I mean, understood my testing requirement. So let us try it out. If we have made a mess somewhere, mistake somewhere, opening code, closing code, we'll fix it right away. That is the reason of choosing get initially. Once you know this is all working, change it to post and hide. No problem. So save all and right click on day 5 content management system and run on server. Next, remove all, keep one case study at a time and say finish. Watch the console every time, all the time. Don't even go to the client-side browser. Check it. Open the console and tell me, are all the DAO instances created or not? Are you seeing any exceptions or is it all working fine? Are you understanding how to develop a case study or your sample project or whatever, mini project perfectly? Okay, so now, so go to this thing, client side, choose your, don't waste your time in wrong this. So you can go for a valid one. Oh, look at me. I did not change the password. So here, and the password is 123. And tell me, is it lifting all the topics? Okay, go step by step. Login successful. Are we remembering the client across multiple requests, as in session tracking is working or not? Are you able to lift? It's a horrible looking form. I agree. That is when you have learned your CSS bootstrap, make it good looking. I mean, not I'm saying today do it that. Over time in your projects and all, you can have a better. In projects, you're not going to use Java for view layer. You're going to use your React bootstrap and everything in the front end. So this is just an intermediate thing. But at least all the topics should be available with a submit button. Oh, sorry, we forgot about this. This link won't be there. I can put it anywhere. Logout link can come on any page. So let it be. Is it appearing fine? Is it, are all the topics coming correctly? Okay. So now let us choose any topic. Let's say servlets. Okay. I know I've not published anything under that, but anyway, we don't have a next page. So after I click a choose a topic, of course, you'll see 404, but all answers are in the URL. So take a look at the URL. I'll put it in the sequence. So I'm saying after choosing, this is how I like, I mean, I want beginners to continue. After choosing a topic, tell me, look at this URL and tell me, is our topics page working fine? Is our topics page working fine? Yes or no? 100% yes. The form is submitted to tutorials and the chosen topic, I have not yet checked. Servlet, yes, servlets is one, fine. So this all looks fine. This is what tells you, this is what is a systematic testing, incremental testing, page by page testing. So has everyone reached here understanding wise? Are we ready to solve the next page? Now it will be kind of repetitive, you know. So now we'll talk about tutorials and whatever. Yes, Abhijit, that is what I said just now. Servlet topic is open the database. You don't require confirmation from me. Servlet's topic is ID1. So it is all working fine. Okay. So now let us discuss the design of the next page totally and we can write in parallel. So shall I share the zip so far or you are good? Anyone needs the zip file so far updated or are we managing? Share? Okay, I'll share in a minute. I'll share. Only thing is when you download, DB utils you edit. Otherwise you'll start getting unknown user and all that. D5 CMS. Yes. So I sent you this. Now focus on the discussion. So this page looks fine. You can modify the get to post. Let the whole case study be over, and then we'll make the changes. Wherever you want post, we will add post. So which is the page under discussion now? Tutorials page. Okay. So start telling me which methods to override. Init, destroy, do get, do post, all of above, none of above. Only do get. You got that. Now, in do get, I have not written the title, but we can have the title. What will be the title? Tutorials available under the chosen topic. So if the chosen topic was Spring Framework, what it will be? Tutorials published under, I want this. I'm not written it. I'm just verbally telling you. Tutorials published under Spring Framework. So can anyone tell me, how will I get this Spring Framework here? Which method will you use? I got the answer as set attribute in session object. Wrong. Try again. Yes, please. Yes, Kunal is right. Guys, this method is sending the request parameter. I don't know whether you understood the gravity of this. Why I keep writing? Because you know that when the request is sent to the tutorials page, how many request parameters are you going to get? You are going to get this request parameter, topic ID. I can't get the Spring Servlet. I can get the topic ID. I'll this, not t dot get name. I can get under the topic ID because topic name I'm not putting. My mistake. So I can get the topics published under the topic ID 1. So I'll get the request dot get parameter. Okay, done. Now the next line. What is that next? I'm opening the picture. Okay. So now here, if I want to find out all the tutorials published under what? Under that particular topic, will I require database access or no access? Fast. Of course, I'll require. Which DAO instance will you require now? Tutorial DAO. Will you create one or will you get it from the session? That you will get it from the session. Understood completely? So guys, we are going to write parallelly. So as always, I'm first explaining everything. So the topic ID, you will get it from the request parameter. But the what is that? Tutorial DAO instance will fetch it, will get it from the session. Once you have got the tutorial DAO instance, please open. You can stop the server while we are discussing. Anyway, we are going to do the development. Please open this thing, tutorial DAO. You can open the interface just to keep it simple. And you tell me, which method are you going to use? Get tutorials by topic ID, get tutorial details, or update visit? Which one? Get tutorial by topic ID. Everyone understands it? So who is going to call whose method? Your servlet, tutorial servlet is going to call this method. What is it I'm going to get here? All tutorial details or only the titles? Only the titles. List of tutorial names, tutorial titles, tutorial names. And then once again, okay, so look at this. See, I'm trying to give you a different experience on each page. Do you require here form generation or no form generation? Is any form required here? No form. Why? It is simply the links. Are you understanding? So you iterate over the whatever, the list of those tutorial names and display it and pass it through the links. And of course, you will require something in the links, but that you will realize once we start writing. Understood the basic part? Understood the basic discussion? Are we ready to develop the next page? Let's do that. Okay, so come here. And here, so okay, what I'll suggest is I'll send you this. I mean, I don't need to send you this. You already have it, but keep this in front of you. This should be kept in front of you. That is, this is the input. This is the request coming from the client, and you are writing a servlet which will respond to this or which will service this request. Keep track of incoming URLs. You will be all fine. Okay. So let's not waste your time at all. I hope it is getting interesting day by day. So close everything and let's write a new page. I mean, new dynamic web page. Page is new and a servlet. And let's say tutorials. And this is not a tutorial detail. This is all tutorials or tutorial servlet. I say any of this tutorials servlet, which is going to display all the tutorials chosen under published under a particular topic. Tutorial servlet. Edit, match the URL pattern. Anytime you get 404, just check the spellings. The mapping may not be wrong. /tutorials. And as already said, currently everything I'm doing it with get for easy debugging. No constructors, only do get. See the mess, otherwise every page would have to override the init and destroy. Code reduces so drastically the moment you start using the shared resources, sharing via session. So for your convenience, I'm just copying this here. So you will know which servlet are we writing or what is that incoming URL request. Okay, keep track of such things always. So let's do it in a standard manner. You can definitely go ahead. You don't have to wait for instructions. If you have understood it, definitely go ahead and start completing. Yes, set content type. Absolutely. So these things are pretty repetitive. Okay. Open the print writer. Get the print writer to send response. Response.getWriter. And here, now we will check. We'll have. So first I want to print the title. Title means title of the page. Print the title. Tutorials available. Something. So a header basically. So I'm just going to, anyway, I was going to copy it from earlier, forget it. So you will have H5, some align, if you want align, otherwise I'm okay without the formatting also. And I'll say, what is that? Available or tutorials published under topic ID. Okay. And here I want to have the topic ID. So first is I've got get topic ID chosen on the client. I forgot the initial part. Before I can print the topic ID, I have to get it first. Get the topic ID chosen from the client. Using what? Using request parameter, using database, or using session? Answer this. How will I get that chosen topic ID? From request parameter. And that is why, guys, such things help you a lot. So you'll not make a mess of which name you had used and all that. Okay. So here, using request parameter. It is going to be sent from client. Client is the one who will say that I want to see the tutorials under this topic, right? So let's say, oh, sorry. Now there is another interesting thing. Hold on. Here, if you check the topics table, what is the data type of topic ID? Varchar or int? Int. Everyone agrees. Int SQL type maps to Java int. JDBC type is also int, right? Okay. So now tell me, we are working on a HTTP protocol. So when you say request.get parameter, what is the return type? String or integer? String. So who will have to do the parsing from string to int? Web container or programmer? Us, programmer. understand, wait for Java Beans, which is after servlet, I take JSP and Java Beans and then Hibernate. You will see once you start writing something like a Java Bean, automatically container will do that. And then wait later for Spring Container, Spring Framework to begin. And then you will enjoy the form binding, total form binding as you have enjoyed it in a React and JavaScript framework. So the technology changes, concept remains the same. So coming back to the point, where were we? Yeah, so here I'll write the left-hand side. Give the Java style name, topic ID. How will you parse? Everyone knows integer.parseInt. Any parsing, easiest is integer.parseInt. And here you give request.get parameter, and in goes the topic ID. You got this much? There is a validation which we are not doing. Which validation I'm talking about? You have done such validations in JavaScript. Suppose user doesn't choose any topic and simply say choose topic. What is it I'll get here? Request.get parameter will be null. And then of course, null to integer parseInt will give you exception. So we will definitely add those validations, but in Spring MVC. So currently we'll make an assumption. User is a smart user, not a dumb user. User will first make a selection. Otherwise, this code will definitely blow up. So I'll write it currently skipping the validations. Which validation? Required field. You can always say, can I say they're required? No, I can't say they're required. Currently skipping the validations. These validations, guys, when you finally have your project in React and maybe Spring Boot as a backend, those validations anyway you'll do where? In the front end or in the backend? Where will be the form? Where will be the user interface? Front end or backend? Front end. Okay. And then once I take you to REST APIs in the backend using Spring Boot and all that, we will do additional validations also in the backend. But initial validations will be done in the front end. I don't know how much reach to, but I'll make it clearer day by day. So we've got this. Now I can print this here easily. Topic ID and closing it. So I've got this. Now get the HTTP session. This part is now kind of a repetitive thing. HTTP session, because my DAO instances are in the session. Get it, HTTP session. Retrieve what? What I'll require here? Tutorial DAO instance. Be clear about what you want. And then you can write it request get session. Now we will say tutorial DAO implementation. Give the downcasting properly and give the variable name, not variable name, attribute name. So I'm going to copy it from the login servlet. If you make a mistake here in a hurry and give this topic DAO, of course you will get class cast exception, because topic DAO is not tutorial DAO. So guys, be a little careful. Don't be in a hyper mode or fast mode or whatever, careless mode. So we are doing this, and now you have to invoke DAO's method to get all tutorials under the chosen topic, I'll say. Okay, so you just have to call a method DAO dot, which method we are calling? Get tutorials by topic ID, and what we are passing is the topic ID. So I hope in the first 2 days of JDBC, you have built up this API and tested it with tester. Little later means not later, but much later in Spring, I'm going to show you the test, writing the test cases, JUnit test cases, Mockito and all that. So we can test the backend, keep it ready, and then integrate it with the front end. All that and much more little later. So assign the statement to a local variable and let's say tutorials. And because it is an unhandled exception, catch all, rethrow the exception to the caller. Wrapping it in a servlet exception. So new servlet exception and the error in this is what to get of whatever class name and whatever is the error. So I'll wait here for a minute till you say you are done. It is kind of repetitive now. You just have to look into the page and continue or build accordingly, develop accordingly. Okay, catching up. Very good. So are we all clear so far? Just have a quick look at what we did. I'm not discussing this. This is now too old. For last 3 days, we are doing it. Getting the selected topic ID and parsing it from the, whatever client has sent in the request body, request parameter. Here, just a title to let user know what he is looking at. Why session? Because my DAO instances are stored in the session. This page requires tutorial DAO. So I got the tutorial DAO. And from the tutorial DAO, I got the tutorials published under a specific topic. Understanding wise also clear? Now look at what we want. So all we want is the links. So just attach the for each to that list, or you can say list.foreach, whatever, and produce the links. So here, iterate over the list, creating links. Okay, so either way, you can go for each method, you can go for this, your choice. For string s in tutorials, everyone knows how to generate the link. So let's have that pw.print. I can have this h4 maybe slightly larger font. And here I can have h5. It doesn't matter really. H5 anchor tag, right? Oh, sorry. Anchor tag, href. The value of the href you will tell me. This part also you will tell me. And here I'm closing it. Okay. I'm putting the blanks. You are going to fill up those blanks. And then you are going to say closing that h5. So this is the only interesting statement in the entire page. So take your time and give me this line. I'm waiting here for a minute. So forget, you have to give me two things. What should be the href value and what should be the hypertext associated with it. So don't give me haphazard answers. Type it out in your Eclipse ID or whatever. If you're not typing along, type it now in somewhere and give me the answer. Give me line number 44, please. Waiting. Oh, somebody got a lag. You understood what I want from you, right? Line number 44, I want from you. Anyone? Is the question clear or are you not clear with the question? Question is, give me line number 44 from your side. And for that, clue is here. This is what you are building. This is what you are giving me. Yes, anyone? Let's see what you're writing. Let me read. Session.getID. Completely wrong, Shubham. You are off track. One is the Anshumala, instead of this, why don't you take a small effort and write this line with proper answer? So instead of saying 1 is this and 2 is this, give me the proper answer. Then I can check it immediately whether you are correct or not. Okay, take little efforts. You are right, but I wanted in a proper this. Okay, let me not waste your time. I hope people are getting it. Yes, so it will be closing and opening and all that. So let's do it together. So href, but you are not completely there. So here, what will be the link href? So answer this. Anytime any of this link is clicked, which is the href you want? What is the href value we want? S is wrong. Tutorial detail is the correct one. So we have not built this page. We'll just have some action, not action, what is it called? URL pattern. So I'll say tutorial detail. Okay, so that was the correct part. Somebody answered. So tutorial, let's say details. Okay, give always the links also proper this. So this is fine. This is kind of fixed, right? And now here, but what I wanted as a label means hypertext. So that I wanted as a tutorial name, tutorial title. So that is dynamic. So close this plus S. There is, guys, how can you say S dot get name? You have iterating over the tutorial names. The list is of not tutorials. It is the list of tutorial names, tutorial titles. And then, add this here and continue. So here, what will this S value iterate from? Suppose I chose the Spring framework because unfortunately I have not added a data under JPA JSP servlet. So I got Spring framework. So if you say select star from tutorials where, what is that? I forgot the name of the column, topic ID, I guess. But anyway, so here, where is the topic ID 4? So what will be the answer? Spring Core, Spring MVC, and Spring Boot. Are you understanding it? So that way, the next page thing. So that will be the, not next page, that will be the values of the names of the tutorials. So think and answer, correct or wrong. Okay, there is a bug there. Tell me what is the bug here. This part is correct, but something is lacking, something is missing. So what is that missing? Find out the missing link. Not enough information. Tutorial details is fine, but what? Okay, I understood it. You tell me clearly. I'm not going to accept or reject your answer. Not understood. Name of the tutorial I have given here. Tell me clear cut, guys, that this is where you have to do something. Okay, value, there's no value. Which value are you talking about? This is not an input. Okay, let me ask you. Do we have a problem here? Option 1. Or do we have a problem here? Option 2. Let me at least understand you. Option 2, correct. So now tell me, what is it you want to do? Okay, if I do only this much, of course the request will be sent. What will be the URL of the next request? Whatever, HTTP host port /day5 something /tutorial details. But what is it you want to add in that? We want to write the next page in the next minute. So what is the input your tutorial details page will require? Tutorial ID. So you will have to ensure that that tutorial ID is added. And how do you do that? Simply add it in the link using the query string. So here, add a query string. Give some query parameter name. I can call it as tut ID. because it is a tutorial ID and is equal to, oh, is it tutorial ID or tutorial name? Okay, just a second. We messed it up. Wait a second. So this is a tutorial name I'm getting. Oh, tutorial name. So sorry. My mistake. I got lost. I got wrong this thing. Tutorial name. My mistake. Tutorial name is equal to. Are we correct? So let's close this. Sorry, close. And then we will say here S and then open it and close it here. Check whether I have done correctly or not. Here, opening quotes, tutorial details, question mark, tutorial name is equal to plus S and the closing tag and all this. Mostly it is correct, I think. Tutorial ID is wrong. Guys, see this. I don't have the tutorial ID. All I have lifted from the database. You check this. Check this method. Here. What is it we are? Oh, sorry. I have messed up something looks like. Wait a second. My DAO layer has a problem. No. I've set the topic ID. I stand corrected. No, I've done it correctly. All I'm lifting from the database is the tutorial name. So this is all relevant. This is all correct. I thought somewhere I've done the name and somewhere I messed up in the ID. No, I have not done the wrong thing. This looks okay. Best is to test. If it doesn't work, we always can debug. So let me ask you a question beforehand. So now the question being asked is, let me open. Suppose user chooses a tutorial. User clicks on the link. Let's say which link? Spring MVC. Okay. If user clicks on this link Spring MVC, can anyone tell me what will be the URI of the next page? What will be the URI of the next request? Just give me the URI. Okay, you can drop the day 5 CMS also. Just give me the URL pattern. You understood my question? If I choose suppose Spring MVC, what will be the URL pattern? This has to come from you. I hope you are typing. / tutorial details, tutorial day. Yeah, Spring space MVC. Very right. You got it? So let's see whether what we are expecting is working at all by running it. Otherwise, we have to debug. So right click, run on server. Now we have kept only one project, so you can say finish. Don't go blindly. It will kill you sooner or later. So just check whether it is all fine, which is fine. And then let's try checking. This was anyway working. So I have got topics only. I have got only under this. So I don't have an option much. You can add the data. So it is doing it. Tutorials published under topic ID 4 looks fine. So this part is okay. And now I should give select a link or something. So what is it? I said Spring MVC. And of course, we were going to get 404. But let's just check whether we have done this page correctly. So after selecting a tutorial, I'm just checking. This is how, if you do it so systematically, lesser chances of errors. So let me see. This looks fine. Tutorial details look fine. Tutorial name, yes. This %20 is what? What is that Unicode corresponding to %20? Space. There's no mistake. It is all coming fine. It is coming as here Spring space MVC. You can add a single quote also if you want. You can add a single quote. But even if you don't add, I think it will work. But if you are insisting anything, you can always add a single quote. We'll just write the next page and we'll see. If it required to put it in the single quote, we will add. I know what you're saying. What you're saying is here also add a single quote. I said I don't think it was required, but anyway, we can do that if you insist. So you check. And here, am I doing correctly? Just see tutorial name. I am not currently adding it. It's getting too messy with single quote, double quote. Let's just continue with this. If it doesn't work, we'll have to come back and we'll debug this page. Is it showing you correctly the URL? See, the whole debugging is on the URL base. That is why you should be keeping this. I'm giving you the whole code. The last page which we wrote. So whatever you want, you can take this. Okay. SRC, the latest servlet, main, Java, pages, and the tutorial servlet. I've sent you the tutorials page. So I hope everyone agrees that keeping track of opening quotes, closing quotes is really a pain. And why we are suffering so much? Because we are mixing up two different type of technologies. Which two technology we are mixing up? Java technology, Java code, and the presentation logic, which is HTML. So when your application sizes grow, generating HTML content dynamically from Java becomes more and more difficult. That is where we enter Java server pages, where you have a clear-cut separation. The next topic, of course, not today, later. So tell me, once you complete this much, can we go to the discussion of the next page now? Let's discuss the next page. I'm still waiting. I'm not writing anything. Most of you are saying done. But like I said, I'll keep giving you the code in case you are lagging behind. So now focus on the next page. Which is the page we are building now? Tutorials details page. So always, look at what is it we want, and then we can do it. So first I want to print the title of the tutorial, which is Spring MVC, the author, publication date, visits, contents, and then we are going to have two links, back and logout, etc. Everyone is clear? So now, so this is the content I want to generate. So let us start designing it. Which methods you want us to override? Init, destroy, or do get, or do post, or whatever. Everyone has understood it. No need of overriding init and destroy. So only do get, because it is a clicking on a link. All set, all clear. Next one. So now imagine we are in a do get. So here, are you going to get any, see guys, okay, I'm just trying to train you because this is the first case study in servlet. So just check 3 questions always. Are you going to read anything from request data, request parameter, question 1? Do you need anything from the session, question 2? Do you need anything from the database, question 3? So start. I'm trying to train you how to think, how to ask the correct questions to yourself. Yes, please. Anything you want to lift from the request parameters? Answer is all here. Tell me. Yes or no? Yes. What is it? Yes, Spring MVC. It's the selected tutorial name. Everyone gets me? So you want to lift this tutorial name. So which will be the method you will use? Request method, session method, or a dow layer method? I'm trying to, explain it. Of course, request.get parameter. In goes what? Tut underscore name. Out comes this, and we'll see whether we are getting it or not, or we'll put that single quote. No worries. If I just get Spring and don't get the second word, of course, I'll have to wrap it in the quotes. All that detail. So I've got this. Now let me open that here. So this is how I can get the first one. Now tell me, do you need to access session? Do you want to get anything from the session? Session.get attribute types. Is session required? Yes. What is it you want to lift from session? Sumit, answer is yes. What is it you want to get from session? Yes. Which DAO, Srinivas? Which DAO? Tutorial DAO. Exactly. Otherwise, you have just got a tutorial name. but you don't have the whole tutorial information, right? So we are going to hit the database. I mean, we are going to call the DAO layer method of a tutorial DAO. So of course you'll require session. Is the understanding and the discussion clear? Then who is going to call whose method? Servlet will call the DAO layer method. So open the tutorial DAO. You can say I tutorial DAO interface. Don't even look at the implementation. So, and tell me which is the method you are going to call. Which is the method you will call for getting the details. The method is get tutorial details. What goes in? Tutorial name. What comes out is the tutorial details lifted from the database, JDBC driver, DAO layer, formed into the object to relational mapping, converted into object. All clear so far? Okay. But guys, the moment you access this, what should increment? What should increase? You are visiting this tutorial. So what should increment? Visits should increment. So guys, these are all the small things over time. So naturally, do we have to, I mean, do we have some method for that? Of course, yes. So which methods will you call? Along with getting the tutorial details, you will have to update the visit count. Is it making sense? Is the whole case study coming together? I mean, is the whole logic coming together nicely? So it's a easy one. Just telling you in small one where you can actually apply the ideas in your own project. That's okay. So we got this. Now, once I have done that, all those update visits and all, once I have a tutorial, printing the author, publish date, contents and all easy. Okay. And then we will add two links. Currently will not solve the backlink. We'll just add a backlink, but we'll work on it later. And now that logout link, we already have a logout page. So at least one part of the flow will be complete. Has everyone understood the discussion and can you think in code? Can you visualize the code? Okay. So other than the backlink, let's finish the whole thing. So open your IDE, close the server, shut down the server, open that server tab and stop the server. Otherwise it keeps reloading, you know that. And here, let's create the next page. Pages, new, servlet, call it as tutorial details page. Tutorial details, servlet. Next step. The spelling mistakes can really hurt. That is the reason we keep, having this all. So I'm just copying it from here, tutorial underscore details. Okay. And here, next step. You can copy it from your own URL. We have tested it recently. No constructors, no do post. That's it. So let's do that now. And as always, I would give you this suggestion. Keep this incoming request. So you'll have exact idea what is it you are getting from the client. URL request, and you can write the corresponding servlet in a understandable, I mean in a clear-cut manner. Anyway, start with the usual. Setting the content type. Getting the print writer. Writer. And now we'll start working on it. So first I want to print the this thing, tutorial title. Okay, first let us get the tutorial name. Get selected tutorial name from request parameter. Once you are clear about what you want to access and from where, whether session, whether database, whether request parameter, things ease out. So that way, I'll write the left hand side string tutorial title, or you can say name, whatever. And here, now it is a string, so there is no parsing required. Get parameter, and in goes the request parameter name. So what is that request parameter name? Tut name. Got it so far with understanding? Next one. Do you require any DAO instance to call the DAO layer method? Yes. DAO instance is in the session scope. So get HTTP session to retrieve tutorial DAO instance. So I think the same thing we have done in earlier page. Don't waste time. So the same thing. And invoke DAO's method, but for a different reason. So I've got the same thing here, getting the session, getting the tutorial DAO to get the selected tutorial, to get the details of the selected tutorial. Understanding so far? Tell me when you are done, or understanding wise also, if you reach here, I'm okay with that. Okay, so now you have to call the DAO's method, DAO dot get tutorial details. So in goes the tutorial name, and this is going to return you the tutorial object, the object to relational mapping, the object view of your tutorial data. So here, same statements. So again, I'm copying catch all just to speed up your programming. Repetitive things, no point in writing. If you say, okay, I need practice, you write it. No problem. Don't copy them. So once you have this, now you just focus on what it is. So I have to print the title. Let's start with the title. I can say the mute yourself, please. The tutorial which we are printing, the name I'm saying, tutorial. Oh, I can set tutorial name also, but anyway, get name. I forgot to have, sorry. So after that, update visits. So we will get to see the updated. Suppose it was visited 10 times. Now the update counter or that visit counter will increase. So before I start printing all those visits and all, call that method DAO dot update visits and tutorial ID. Now we have lifted whole tutorial, so it becomes so easy. Get tutorial ID. So you will see I think this is all string letters. Okay, so right now we can SOP it. We are anyway going to print it. We'll just print it so that you will have a debugging thing. So I'll just check. I think we are sending a message that visits updated. Now continue. This is your title. Now let's follow it. Author now I want. So the author, you can later, when I show you JSP, you can at least do a little bit formatting, like I said, table, put it in a table and all that. Tutorial dot. Next is the published on, published date. Get published date. Next is the visits. So here you will see the updated one. I hope you are trying it on your own. Then as well, final is the contents. Later you can, you can have the reviews, the upvotes, like, and all those things, all those things you can add. So what was it? Contents. The contents actually is going to be a long content. That is what it is, the full contents with the images and all. So here we are having a few liner content or single liner content. So contents. I think we have published both. Yes. And now it is just to give certain links. So let me copy that link tag. And like I told you, currently we are not working on the backlink. I'm just keep it ready. Send the backlink. User might want to see more tutorials under the same topic. So backlink. So this we will talk about this back. And the back page is what? So the back page tutorials, right? Yeah, tutorials. It is all about matching. This, as I said, it's incomplete. So we'll do it over time. And send the logout link. If user says that, okay, I've seen the contents enough, user want to log out. That logging out option should be present on any page, every page. So logout link. This servlet we had already written. So I'll wait here, finish it, and even if you cannot type it or cannot, finish the typing, tell me whether understanding wise, have you understood? Understood this, Ashutosh? Thanks. So all I want you to do is look at what we want to generate, and accordingly, you have all the contents lifted from the database, just present it. This is all presentation logic. This is all the UI, response generation logic. I'll keep that. I'll send it. Which one we wrote just now? Tutorial details. I've not yet tested it. Maybe I've not, got it properly. So we'll test it. We'll debug it together in case there is any problem. I am only worried about that white space, whether it is going to lift it. Single quotes might be required or may not. We'll check. You let me know, guys. I'm waiting for your answer. Okay, Yash, some of you are saying Yash. Yash Kunal are saying. So, like I said, you are going to do it at your own pace in the lab session as a revision part or doing from scratch. So, do it. Now, I'm just asking you a question here. I said we will discuss the backlink, but looking at time, let us discuss that also. Is this sufficient or not sufficient? Is there anything else you would like to add? Not sufficient. Yes. Sakshi, you are right. So what is it you would like to add there? Okay, before you directly jump into answer, I want everyone to understand. See this, when user clicks on link back, again you are taking him to this and you expect, we are expected to display the tutorials from the same topic. So tell me, anyone? Tutorials link. I didn't understand you, Abhijit. I've already linked the tutorials page here, but there is something which is still required. Yeah. So what is it exactly? So now see this, understand the flow. When we went from here, we were getting the topic ID from the selection. Now you just have to add that topic ID here. Otherwise, when this page is executed, which page is executed? Tutorial servlet, it will never find the topic ID. Are you understanding it? So here you'll start getting null pointer exceptions and all that, or in what is that? Number format exception. So what is it I'll have to add here in the link? A request parameter. What should be the name of the request parameter? Any arbitrary name or a specific name? Answer is in front of you. Any specific name or the specific name? What should be the name? Topic ID. Okay, so come to the tutorial details and add here question mark. Topic ID is equal to, anyone wants to tell me, how will I get that topic ID? Answer is very easy. Topic ID is the foreign key. So open the tutorial Pojo and you will see, like how the topic ID is a foreign key in your database table, we have mapped it exactly. Can you see this topic ID here? It's a foreign key. So if you check, I don't know how you have written the topic Pojo, not topic Pojo, tutorial Pojo, I meant. I hope you have added a topic ID here, which is nothing but a foreign key column, which references, not DAO and all, wrong, Pojo's method you are going to call. So the primary, I mean foreign key, which references the primary key of the topics table. So where were we? Here. So now again you have to take this, close it, plus what is the variable name? Tutorial. Oh, sorry, tutorial. I wanted dot get topic ID or something must be there. Yeah, I don't know how you are written. If you are using, I have got a method get topic ID. Continue. Open that and continue here. So get topic ID and backlink. So we've done a lot of things in this page, but we have not tested. So we'll test it and we'll see if any mistakes are not. But understood the thought, understood the concept. When you say backlink, you have to send back the topic ID. And because it is one-to-many, one topic can have multiple tutorials. In the tutorials table, we had the foreign key column, which references the topic's ID. And the same what table is represented in what? In your Pojo. So under tutorial, I don't know about you, but I had added the topic ID and which is what I retrieved. Understood? Okay, let's give it a try. If the single quotes are causing any problems, we'll see, we'll observe that. So here, topic ID is equal to, let me see, tutorials. This is that single quote. Okay, so this single quote should not close right here. This single quote should not close. Yeah. So topic ID, here this, and here it should close. Am I doing it correct? Same mistake, have I done it earlier? Okay, so this was now a single quote mistake. Just check this. Will confirm. We'll run it and we'll check. So let's try this out with all these changes. I'm not sending you the code because I'm not sure because of so many things, whether missing quotes and all that. Run as, run on server, finish. Check the console. Always. Check the initialization part. Yes, all the DAOs are fine. Now I'll look at the flow. This was anyway working fine. This was also working untested. So let's say suppose Spring MVC. Okay, so I was worried about that codes I told you. In most of the times you don't require this, it understands it. Spring MVC, author Rama. Let's see. Oh, now I had not checked. Okay. This was 12. Did not increase, right? Should have increased. Something is a problem. Visits is 12. We'll see. Contains whatever. And let's see that backlink here. Spring MVC. Okay, so the contents are changing. Should it have changed it earlier? I'm just thinking. A couple of times it is changing. And I don't see any obvious problems. Let me test the other link also. Was it mixing up something? No. The author name. This is fine. I got mixed up in Rama and Kiran. Rama is the author and Kiran is the user. You are logged out. Visit again. And let's see whether the things are fine. Front page is fine. All the session tracking. Yeah, looks okay on in my case. You tested thoroughly. Yeah, so we had not called this method. So we can call this method only in the tutorials page, right? So this looks fine, right? Is there any problem? Once you come to this page, then only the tutorials visits should increase. So this is looking fine. So let me make a zip of it and send you. If you still find something which is not as per the requirement, let me know. We can add. The whole idea is visits have to be incremented, updated. So in case, if you need something, I mean, if you are lagging behind in something, tell me. So this is your customer-wise role of content management system. Got some idea? Last 3 days we are working in servlets. So got some idea about how to write a case study using the servlet APIs, mainly servlet database integration, different types of page navigation. I have not taken server pull later, maybe after this, and the mainly session tracking. So this is a excellent small size, medium sized case study to get you started. So of course, I'm giving you a 10 minutes break here, but before that break, I'm just telling you, you have so many things to do in the lab. I mean, I'm just suggesting. So those who have not done it parallelly with me can try to do everything on their own. Now you know the concept. Now you know the steps. You can do that. But if you have already done it, we can always add. We means I'll discuss and you will give me the output. So here, in this case, are we really checking? Are we doing? Okay, let me ask you. What is it we are doing? Authentication on the first click. Yeah, it is not increasing. So we will modify that moment. Add that much. On the first click, it is not visits are adding. So they should add. So we'll fix it in some time. I should leave something for you. You want to tell me how? How to do that? It's not increasing in my case also. Same observations I did. So this is let that be as a on a side note. Think on it. Guys, I made that statement. On the first click, it is not really showing the increased visits from the database. Do try. Okay, so I was saying, come back to this. Just think it over. Not this, what I'm saying now. Think it over. Tell me, guys, in the current case study, what is it we have done? Authentication, authorization, both or neither. I hope you know the terms. If you don't know the terms, you can tell me. What is it we have done so far? What kind of logic we have built in? Authentication, authorization, both or neither. Only authentication. Are you understanding it? We have not done the role-based authorization. Authorization means what? Okay, authentication means what? Confirming who you are. So user says, okay, I'm kiran@gmail.com, and with the credentials will confirm whether he is really the user he's talking about, or whether she's the one she's talking about, whatever. Authorization means, fine, you have authenticated yourself, you have proved your identity, but which permissions you have? So tell me, here, it's nothing but an access control list, ACL. So here, in our users, what are the two different roles we are having in our case study? One is the customer role, which is what we completed, and one is the admin role. Clear? So tell me, if the if the customer logs in, we did that. But if the admin user logs in, is admin going to be here to read the tutorials or something else? I mean, okay, let me say this, same flow or a different flow. For the administrator, different permissions, different flow. Everyone with me? So that is going to be your, if you want, optional assignment. Okay, so I have given all this here. So we will do the branching. Looking at the role, see this expansion, extension, role-based checking. If the user has logged in under the customer, this above flow is already explained. There is a small bug, but you can fix that. But under the admin flow, currently I am giving only the add new tutorial. But you know, admin can do much more. Add user, change the permissions of the user, so many. So currently only add new tutorial. Later I might say that monitor and all the obsolete tutorials which are published before a particular date. Who wants to read the old technology? No one. So remove those tutorials, everything. So this is just again a first week in Jet2, you know that. So here you can try out this flow. Of course, I'll explain it in the somewhere I said JSPs and all. Please ignore. Okay. So here also, see guys, we have not reached all these places. We will reach over time. So forget web application listener, JSP and all that. Forget all that. But you can definitely build it with a servlet. So think about it. I mean, not immediately, but this is what can be your lab exercise. Or first option is always there. You say, no, I am not yet completed it. I don't have the hang of it. You can develop this on your own on Scratch and then continue to the admin flow. So all of this, I mean, not all of this, we will discuss a new topic called as server pull, the remaining topics in servlet after 10 minutes break. So let's have a 10 minutes break and resume in 10. I hope you have an idea about what is expected from you in the lab session. So either revise the whole case study, the customer part which I have done, and after the revision of 1 hour, I mean, I think 1 hour revision would be sufficient, continue to the admin flow, which of course, when I join in, we'll discuss. So anyone wants to tell me how to fix the bug? You understood what bug I'm talking about? Anytime anyone clicks on this, it is showing you the earlier visit counter. Have you figured it out, guys? I said, suppose visits are 100. So next, when you click on it, it should increase to 101. It is incrementing, but it is not reflected. Any ideas, any suggestions? Am I audible? Okay, so I mean, I wanted to establish the basic fact. No, nobody has thought it out. Okay, no problem. You think it over. We'll discuss it in the lab. It's a small fix. So now let me take you to the some more concepts in servlet. And so one of the important concepts I wanted to cover is server pull. So let me start. This project I'm not touching. I mean, this we are we will continue in the lab session for the admin. So let me introduce you to the other part of navigation. So let's have a small recap. You know, there are two different types of page navigation technique, client pull and server pull. So which is the one we have been using so far? CP or SP, client pull. So if I ask you here, which is the navigation from login form to login servlet? I know it is client pull. You just have to tell me client pull CP1 or CP2 from form to login servlet. Client pull 1, user is involved or browser is only involved? Client pull 1 or client pull 2? Of course, client pull 1. If user clicks looking at the login button, nothing will happen. So this is client pull 1. What about the next one? Login servlet to topics page in case of success, CP1 or CP2? This is the CP2 redirect scenario. And rest all were CP1. User had to click a button, click a link, click some links to check it out. But I have not yet shown you any example of server pull. So let us start with that. So just a second. Let me open the help. In day 4 help itself, I've given you the whole help. So open page navigation and you have a complete readme on page navigation. So today compulsory reading homework is, I hope you have already read about client pull. Today you are going to read about server pull also. So we are discussing the next technique in the remaining time. So read that. What is server pull? Server pull involves taking the client to the next page. That is common. The moment you say page navigation, you are taking the client from, let's say, servlet 1 to servlet 2 or page 1 to page 2. But is it, how was it happening in the client pull? In the next request, a new request was coming, next request was coming all the way from the client browser. In the server pull technique, are you going to dispatch? Are you going to navigate the client in the same request or next request? Answer is in the same request. So when you talk about server pull technique, who all will be involved? Your choices are client as a person, client browser, both of them or none of them. Pick up the option. In the server pull technique, who will be involved? I gave you the 4 options. Pick up the correct option, please. Let me see what you're saying. I did not give you the server option at all. None of them is the correct answer. So everything, the whole navigation is going to happen in the server space. So neither the person, the client as a person, nor the client browser is involved. Okay. So now read one by one. What is it known as famously? Resource sharing, or even more commonly known as request dispatching. So what is going to happen, guys? Client is going to send you the request, and the same request you are going to dispatch, you are going to stretch to visit the multiple pages, multiple resources. Everything will be clear in 2 minutes. So a client, I am going to take the similar one, that is, not the whole case study, but yes, part of it. So client will send the request to the servlet, later can be JSP, another web component. So client sends a request, and the same request, the partial processing of the request will be done with one servlet. Let me talk about it. So here, the form is submitted. So the request is sent to login servlet. Now, in login servlet, instead of redirecting the client to the next page using client pull 2, which is the technique of navigation we are going to replace it by is server pull. So in that case, Will any response be sent to the client browser, which will further take it to the topics page? Absolutely not. Like a rubber band, I'm giving you an analogy. Like a stretchable rubber band, you are going to stretch the request to visit the multiple pages. So in short, the flow will be, I'll show you pictures, diagrams and all. So the request will be sent from the client, and the same request will visit the topics page, and then the response will be sent back. That is what we are learning. Okay, so that is what is the opening statement. Same request can be chained to the next page for further servicing of the requests. Okay, so let me show you my, this was all shared yesterday. So here, as a comparison, you understand it easily. Forget about the scopes. Right now, don't worry about the scopes and all. Focus here. In this technique, user is navigated to the next page in the very same request. Same is called as better name is, or well-known name is, resource chaining is equal to request dispatching. And let me ask you a question. Which technique will be faster? Client pull or server pull? What do you think? Which navigation technique will be faster? Client pull or server pull? Of course, server pull. Why? Because if you talk about client pull 1, client pull 2, the whole response of earlier request is sent and a new request. In short, here round trip delay is involved. Here round trip delay is not involved, because entire navigation is going to happen in the server space. So this is what we are going to observe. This is what we are going to experience. So here, best is to do it with a example. Sorry. First, let me, of course, example. We are going to take the same 2 pages, login servlet and topic servlet, and we are going to replace client pull redirect by, there's something called as request dispatchers forward technique. So I'm just thinking what will be the easiest for you. Easiest would be API docs. So open the this thing, Java docs, J2E docs, and search for HTTP servlet request. Here I can see HTTP servlet request is an interface whose super interface is servlet request, and the method which I'm giving you comes from the servlet request. So the method name is, okay, there are steps. Like I gave you the steps. There was response.send redirect. Here you have a method request.get request dispatcher. So open open servlet request and look for get request dispatcher. Make a mental note to read the description of this method, because really good description is given. Very good description. So here, what is the method name? Get request dispatcher. Whose method it is? It is the servlet request method, which is extended by HTTP servlet request. So how will you call it in the code? Request.get request dispatcher and supply the path. So this path will be the path of the next resource which you want to chain. So now read this carefully. What is it returning is a request dispatcher object. So that is what I'm trying to explain. Returns the request dispatcher object. What is it? It is nothing but the wrapper to represent the next resource. So let me ask you a simple question. If I want to dispatch the client the same request from, let's say, servlet 1 to servlet 2. So what is it you will write in servlet 1? I'll start it for you. Request dot get request dispatcher. And what will be the path you will supply? Which path you will supply? Whose path? S2. Okay, so you are chaining the 2 pages. What happens internally and all is very interesting. All those things will happen soon. Okay, so first understand the steps. We will try it out, and then we'll go internal. We'll go deeper. So all these steps I have written in that page navigation technique. So read the step. Create the request dispatcher object for wrapping or for representing or for chaining the next page, next resource. Can it be a static resource as well as dynamic? Answer is yes. In short, You can chain it to HTML, which is static, or servlet or a JSP. When I take you to model view controller MVC, at that time you'll see servlet will be dispatching the servlet will be dispatching the client to the view layer, which is JSP. But all those topics are little further next week, basically. So today you just understand in servlets. So resource which you are chaining can be static or dynamic. And this is the method which I already explained. So let me ask you a simple question to check whether you are understanding anything at all. So in the current code, in the login servlet, which was the method you are using for client pull 2? Give me the method name. This answer I won't expect fast. Which was the method we have been using for client pull 2? HTTP session, client pull 2, navigation, send redirect. Very right. Response.send redirect. So that method, we are going to replace it by which method? I told you the step. Which method we are going to replace it by? Yes, request.getRequestDispatcher, but the dispatcher location path will be still the topics. Okay, compare it line by line. So first step done. Now, there are two scenarios. Okay, there are request dispatching two scenarios. One is called as forward scenario and the other one is called as include scenario. So one at a time. So when you say forward, you are forwarding the client from one page to another page. When I show you include, you will be including the dynamic contents all later. So now the API wise, again, it is very easy. So it is a request dispatcher method. This is an interface and the method name itself is forward. What are the two arguments you are looking at? Request and response. So tell me, when you say this request and response, do they represent the next request, next response, or the current request stretched? Same request or new request, current request or new request? Answer anything. Answer is the same request, current request. You're going to see all of that in a minute. And what is it for? Again, it is for separation of concerns. Instead of writing the complete business logic and making one page very complex, not maintainable, and difficult to debug, this allows the separation. So one servlet can do the initial processing, which could be authentication, and the other servlet, such as topic servlet, can generate the content, the list of topics and whatever. So it is nothing but used for division of responsibility, or you can say separation of concern. But there are certain things which are common between, which are same between a client pull and a server pull. So let me ask you, when you say response.send redirect, what is the first thing your container does? Maintains the print writers buffer or discards the print writer buffer? Clears or retains? Retain or discard? Of course, discard. Same thing happens here. The moment you say request dispatcher.forward, the response buffer is automatically cleared. But if you trouble the container by first committing the response and then calling a rd.forward, what do you think your container will do? Same exception. So container will throw you which exception? Illegal state exception. But this time the error message would be, you cannot forward the client after committing the response. Already the second line tells you, if the response has been already committed, by flushing the print writer, closing the print writer, this will throw you illegal state. So is there any rule? Is there any limitation is the wrong word, but rule? Answer is yes. Using request dispatcher, you can chain the couple of resources. S1, servlet 1 chain to servlet 2 chain to servlet 3. I'll repeat my statement. Suppose you create the 3 pages chain. S1 forwarded to S2, forwarded to S3. Then which page in this chain can actually generate the dynamic response and send it to the client? The choices are S1, S2, S3, All of above, none of above, any of above. I already got you the answer. The last page in the chain. What will happen if any intermediate pages generate the dynamic response? Will it be added in? No. Here me Nidhi. I'm just saying pw.print. I have not committed the response. Will it be retained or will it be ignored? Retained or discarded, ignored, gone, discarded. But like additionally, if you commit the response in the S1 or S2, 100% you'll get illegal state. Okay, so the last page in the chain is going to actually generate the response and send it back to the client. Okay, so now I'm taking a very small portion of the case study to explain CP versus SP, client pool versus server pool. So I'm not even going this way. We had started day 5.1 or something, first project which we did today. So there we had just got a login page and the topics page. So that we are going to copy and we are going to replace client pool by server pool. So start doing with me, and over 10 minutes time, maybe, okay, today less time. Anyway, whatever, I'll just cover whatever we can and we'll continue tomorrow. So come to the Eclipse ID, stop the server if it is still running, and don't make this, the entire case study I'm not going to change. So make the copy day 5.1 open. I have closed this project. So when you double click it, the project opens. So making day 5.1 to day 5.2. Make a copy of that earlier one. Don't touch the case study. We have small bugs and all to this. We have the entire admin flow to add. Anyway, so do this. After copying, change the context root. Tell me when you are done. And say Control Shift close all earlier things. Made a copy. I hope you have not copied the entire case study. Just copied the small portion of it. So just observe what you got. You know, login form and all is fine. So open the pages. You don't even require the logout servlet. You can get rid of that. I'm keeping the focus very, very, very small. So delete the logout servlet. And from the topic servlet, delete the logout link. My whole and soul, requirement is, or rather objective is, just focus on page navigation alone. I'll wait. Get rid of that logout page. You don't even require logout for understanding this. And you remove that logout link. So you got only login servlet and topic servlet remained. Done? Can we continue? Now, open login servlet, please. Init and destroy. This was the earlier version. So only look at the things which I'm requesting you to. So init and destroy, ignore. I'll tell you the line number and you tell me. Line number 88. So what does this tell you? Server pool or client pool? Everyone understands this. This is a client pool. So this is what we are going to replace it by server pool. Is the requirement clear completely? Okay. So I would say, since it is a totally a different ballgame, remove everything. We will identify the step by step and we'll do that. And later, of course, you can copy. I mean, you can compare. So I'm saying, make it all clean. You want, you can keep it under comment, but like I said, currently I'm just removing everything. So now identify, because too many comments, you don't know what the earlier stuff is, what the new stuff is and all. So here, let us identify the steps. So first objective, what we want to do in case of successful login. This itself means successful login. Do you want to navigate the client to the next page, which is topics page, in the next request or in the same request?
Same.
Answer is the same. I mean, answer is same, obviously. So in case of successful login, navigate the client to which page? Topics page. Topics servlet in the same request. So this is what is your request chaining. You're stretching the same request which has come from the client to visit multiple pages. Which multiple pages? It has already visited login. Let it continue to this thing also. What is it called? Topics as well. So now the steps. So which approach we are using? Server pull. What is server pull? More commonly known as request chaining is equal to request dispatching. Or you can say request chaining. You're forming a chain of resources which will be visited by the same request. So now the steps. So what are the steps? You open that my page navigation document, you'll know the steps. So what is the first step? Create RD for request dispatcher, Java X dot servlet dot request dispatcher. It is an interface. The specifications would be in servlet API jar, and the implementation class of request dispatcher, you will find it in the Catalina. That's your Tomcat specific one. So create a request dispatcher object means implementation class instance to wrap the next page, or you can say wrap the next resource, which is your topics page, which is your topics servlet. So this is the first statement, or this is the first step in a server pull. So which is the method? I'll give you the method. So it is a method of API of servlet request. And the method is, it returns you the request dispatcher. Now hereafter RD is request dispatcher, public request dispatcher. The method name is get request dispatcher. And all you have to supply is the path. And that path is nothing but the URI, or rather not URI, URL location. If it is servlet to servlet, servlet is identified by URL pattern. So that URL pattern. If it is a JSP, I'll say later what JSP. HTML, suppose I say topics.html, then be it. So here I'm showing you request dispatching from one servlet to another servlet. Method of servlet request. So I have got this. I will write the left hand side. I want you to give me the RHS. Type the RHS. We'll stop in 5 minutes. So at least request dispatcher topics, very right. Correct. So guys, please don't trust your memory or the spellings. Pick up the URL pattern. And otherwise you waste so much of time. Trust me on that. Believe me. So here we'll say request dot get request dispatcher and add the topics. Don't say slash. Again, it is relative to the current web application. Done this much? Now we are writing very small code, not like your case study where we were generating longer pages. Okay. But creating the request dispatcher object alone is not sufficient. So mute yourself. Rohit, mute. So the next step is, you can either use the forward technique or you can use the include technique. Today, looking at time, only forward. So now I want to forward the client to the next page in the same request. Okay. And we're going to confirm all this. It is just a matter of a minute. You just open that inspect tool, network tab, and you will see. If you remember your earlier observation, you were seeing 2 requests coming from the client, authenticate, and next was the redirect request to topics. How many requests you expect to see this time from your network tab? 1 or 2? I said when we replace it by server pull, only 1 request, and that will be to authenticate. You'll see all that. I don't know whether today, tomorrow, but sometime. Forward this, and that is the API or the method of the 2 methods. Method of request dispatcher. One is forward, the other one is include. And the arguments it takes is not HTTP servlet request, it is not HTTP specific, any. So servlet request RQ and servlet response RS. So just put it in the code rd dot forward. And are we chaining it with the same request, same response, which was visiting this chain page? Of course, yes. So same request, same response. So earlier we were doing it in one step, response.send redirect. Now we are investing 2 steps, creating the request dispatcher object and forwarding the client. Got it so far? So before I say anything further, I'll tell you the importance of the topic. When you say, what is it called? When you build the actual, your projects and all, Spring MVC basically, you are going to require both the techniques. Which both techniques I'm talking about? The redirect scenario as well as the forward scenario. Okay, so let me tell you the this thing, forward technique. Listen to this. Today you're not going to understand much because where I've shown you MVC and you said you don't know MVC. So in any model view controller based application, I'm going to show you Spring MVC, of course. You will see the Spring framework, or you can have Struts framework. There's another famous framework. I mean, earlier famous, once upon a time famous, Struts, or there's something called a not JavaScript. What is it? Java server faces. So all these MVC frameworks use request dispatchers forward technique to forward the client, to navigate the client from something called as controller to the view layer. So guys, this is an extremely important topic. I mean, you need both. It's not like only client pull or only server pull. It will be a mix of all the navigation technique, and we will choose suitably. So looking at time, let us just add 1 or 2 lines and call it a day. We will continue this discussion tomorrow. So typical confusion among the beginners is when I say forward, they think that the control of execution does not come back. So we'll confirm whether the control of execution came back at all. So just put SOP, which will appear on the server side console. So the control of execution came back to login. So we have a lot of things to check. Okay, so this is your what technique replaced by what? Server pull, I'm so sorry, client pull to, that is redirect scenario, replaced by forward. And if you Google J2E interview questions, or famous interview questions, one of the popular question is redirect versus forward, client pull versus server pull. So of course we'll spend a lot of time on that. Okay, so this is about your first page. Now open, I know I'm stretching, just I don't know how many, 4 or 5 minutes. So open the topic servlet, please, and tell me, have we created any session in the earlier request? Or I can rephrase my question. Have we added any validated user details in this login page under the session scope? It's a Boolean question. Yes or no? Answer is no. So now take a little step back and tell me, when is session tracking required? Listen to this. When you have multiple, when you want to remember the client across multiple requests, or when you are just dealing with one request, multiple requests coming from the same client or a single request coming from the same client. Everyone understands me. So guys, we were requiring the session scope in that client pull technique because there were 2 requests coming from the client, one for authenticate, one separate for topics. But now the scenario is, we are going to navigate the client to this topics page in the same request. So tell me, is session tracking, is the session scope required Or can we go for a narrower scope or a, what do you say, narrower scope? Narrower is the word I was looking for. Answer is narrower scope will suffice. So here looking, I don't want to stretch it because it's a very important. I'll just say 1 or 2 lines and we'll stop really right away. So if I ask you a question in core Java, what are the 4 different scopes? What are the 4 different access specifier everyone knows in the middle of night kind of a thing? Core Java access specifiers. Guys, I've told you, always give the answer. I'm preparing you for interviews also in a, yeah, so Diksha's answer better. Give it in an ascending manner. Don't just mix it up in any order. Private, default, protected, and public. Private means within the same class. Default means within the same package. Protected is equal to default in Java. So same as default in the same package, but accessible to subclass, and public is from anywhere. Everyone knows it. Likewise, there are 4 different scopes in web programming. So forget about all those different scopes. I'll just talk about 2 scopes. One is the session scope, which you have already seen. So tell me, what does a session scope consist of? Single request coming from any client or multiple requests coming from the same client? Pick up the option. Multiple requests coming from the same client, and you have seen that HTTP session object and all that. One session object representing one client detail. Everyone gets it? Now I'm saying there is a narrower scope, which is nothing but a request scope. Current request only. So in the server pool, in the client pool, when we are talking about multiple requests, 2 requests coming from the client, which is the minimum scope in which you should add the attributes? Your choices are request scope or a session scope. Client pool me. In the client pool technique, which is the minimum scope, I should save the attributes so they will be visible in multiple requests. Which is the minimum scope? Session scope. Abhijit, it's a session scope. That is what we were working on. But now when I say my whole job is going to finish in one single request, do you require a larger scope as a session, or can I go for a narrower scope as a request scope? Of course, I can go for a narrower scope as a request scope. So tomorrow when we resume, you will see us adding the validated user details under which scope? For server pool, request scope or session scope, R or S, under the request scope. And guys, the good news is you don't have to learn new API. J2E makes the API same. So instead of calling session.setAttribute, what would you like to, what do you think you will call? The invoker object will change. So what will you call? Will you call session.getAttribute? Prashant, you're wrong. What will you call is the parameter and attributes are totally different. Request.setAttribute. Not getAttribute. First, you have to set the attribute. So in the login page, tomorrow, not today, you will add, before you say forward, you will simply add a line request.setAttribute and add the validated user details before forward. And now in the topic servlet, will you need the access to the session? It's a Boolean question, yes or no. Will you need any session? No. Will you need any? Okay, so, but we want to retrieve the validated user details. So this method will be replaced by, tell me, this line will be replaced by, I've given you a highlighted one. What it will be replaced by? Request.getAttribute. Attribute name you can decide. And this is what will tell you the difference between client pool versus server pool. So of course, with the diagrams, this whole thing becomes extremely clear. So we'll be talking about it in a proper manner, and you'll know exactly internally when you call request dispatcher.forward, what happens internally and what is the minimum scope of attributes to choose in different cases. So I can't do justice to this in a short time. So just keep somewhere in the background, in the back of your mind, there's something called a server pull. We will continue with the remaining discussion tomorrow. So guys, before I'm stopping here. Before I join the lab, I joined purposefully little late. So you spend whole time in revision. After I come back, if you want a quick revision anytime, you just have to tell me, revise. So the flow wise I'll revise. And if you say no, we are comfortable and all, I can definitely start discussing this part and get it done from you. So whatever you decide, we'll continue in the lab session. That will be all. See you in the lab. You are almost welcome.